Yeah.
Yeah, then it's no problem because it is a yesterday problem. Right. So in the yesterday's class, actually, we have gone through what? So in the yesterday's class, actually, we have gone through the various economic policies and how this economic policy is going to
No, sir. Yesterday class,
have impact over the
single
economic
word cannot be
environment,
understand,
the
sir.
business.
Single word also cannot be understand yesterday, sir.
Pardon?
Single words also
Okay, shall
cannot
I
be
repeat
audible.
then? Yeah, I will
Yeah,
repeat
yeah.
it, no problem. Yeah, definitely, no problem. It is there. Actually, the problem is not with the internet. Morning also I attended a Zoom meeting, but it is not that problem. So whether
All people are okay.
are other classes are going on okay?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, without disturbance, sir. Since morning today, still also.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. So now let us see if it is there. If any problem is there, I will check it out with the computer, my personal laptop. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
today let us check it once. Okay. Now it is clear and audible. No
Yeah,
issue.
yeah. Clear and audible.
Yeah, and moreover, I don't disturb much, so that it will help us to go with that. So let me share one PPT also to you, so that it will be easy for you to understand. So now, are you? I hope you are able to see the slide on the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
board.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, actually, in the very first unit, let us go with that. In the yesterday's class, also I will repeat. Today, actually, I thought of giving total lump sum introduction and all about this one. Actually, we started with the business environment. So what all we have studied is that your entire textbook that is comprising of four units, 1, 2, 3, 4 units are only there. That is block one, block two, block three, block four. In the first block, there are 6 units are there in that. In that, the first is business environment and overview. In the business environment and overview, what is the contemporary business objectives that we have discussed, and what are the various aspects that we have to consider in the business promotion and all these aspects. So before going to the, I hope now it is clear, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Carry on, sir. We are listening to you.
Okay, right. Yeah, thank you. If it is, if you are not audible or if you are not visible, slides are also visible to you, na?
Visible, visible. Contemporary
Right.
business.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. So when we are talking about the business, actually, business is all about doing some sort of activity that is for the purpose of attaining the profit. Is the profit alone is the major important area for the purpose of carrying out the business? Answer is no. Then then we have given about the various aspects relating to what are the various areas or what are the various objectives that the business is to carry out. That aspect is also considered in the very beginning class, right? So in that, along with the objectives of the business, I have told you about that. Profit is the important element in that. When we are talking about the profit element, growth is also important. So business always considers growth as the major perspective. Then getting power, that means getting authority over that one. Then employee satisfaction and development. Then the quality production services, attainment of the quality product, attainment of quality services. These are the various aspects that we have to understand. Then lastly, market leadership. When we are talking about market leadership, which firm is going to have which firm is going to have many number of customers or more number of customers. This is to be identified. When a particular product or when a particular this one, when a particular company is able to attract more amount of customers, then it is said to be the market share. So every firm wants to get more amount of market share in this. So as a result of that, every firm tries to build up the market share. So it wants to see that major number of customers will come from your company only or your business only. This is also studied in that. Next, let us proceed with the other elements in this. Just 1 second. No disturbance. No. No, it's okay. So along with the market share, other objectives are also there. Then challenge market leadership. Every firm wants to be the leader in the market. Like in case of electronics market, Sony wants to be the leader. In the case of automobile manufacturing, Maruti cars wants to be challenging and market leadership. And creation of new production services, that's on to you. And service to the society, along with the profit making and along with the business objective, every firm wants to provide some sort of services to the society. And lastly, good corporate citizenship. When we are talking about good corporate citizenship, the firm wants to provide a some sort of benefits to the society, some sort of benefits to the society. That means in the form of social responsibility. Now in this class, let us, yeah, participants can now see your application, right? So when all the business firms wants to be a part of the society and so that they can discharge the social responsibility. Social responsibility is basically coming under the process of serving to the society in an indirect way. Say, just understand, if any dental hospital is also a business unit. So when they are giving a free medical camp, that comes under the social responsibility. Like more and more business firms, say for example, Colgate and Palmolive company, they are conducting a dental examinations. So dental tests, all that will come under the corporate social responsibility. So every firm wants to be a good corporate citizen in this particular process. Then we can study about what is actually now from this class, yesterday's class is a continuation for this. So what is the environment actually? We talk about environment is not good, environment is fine and so on. What exactly the meaning of business environment? Environment includes what all the various factors outside the firm. Outside the firm, this is a more important area. Outside the firm is a more important. When any factor that is outside the firm, which can lead to the opportunities to the firm, or the threats to the firm, is said to be the threats to the firm is said to be the environment. What are all the factors which are under the control, are not under the control of the firm, which are outside the firm, that will lead to the opportunities? That every factor which may lead to the opportunity, or every factor which may lead to the threat also to the firm. All these factors put together, that will be considered as environment. The most important factors which influence the firms in the society are, first one, socio-economic factors, technological factors, then suppliers, then competitors, then government. In the socio-economic factors, what are the factors that are related to the economic environment? That is social changes. For example, social beliefs. All this will come under the socio-economic problem. Second, technological aspects that we are going to study in the now, and all the other suppliers. Supplier is the other element. So suppliers always put various amounts of demands, or they will restrict the supply. And what are the factors outside? This is also a factor outside the business firm. So how the suppliers are extending the facility to the business unit. That is also an external environment. Then competitor. So every competitor or every person who is producing similar type of goods, they will cut down the competition from one person to the another. And when once one competitor is growing up, the other competitor definitely try to pull down the first one. And finally, everyone wants to be the market leader. This is what I have explained in the also. Why the competition? Competition must be healthy, but in the case of business, competition all the competitors put together, one firm, if it tries to reduce the price, another firm also tries to make out that some advantage out of that. So like the competitors put together, they will come in a close neck-to-neck problem and neck-to-neck competition basis. And finally, they want to achieve one of the leadership quality that is called as market share and market leader. And last other important environmental factor, that is the government. Yesterday, we have discussed about what is the factors that are influencing the business to the government and government to the business. As we are repeating this one, last one also, government and technology we are going to study in this particular class, right? So this is the one slide you have to understand. Then what is the process of environmental analysis? This we have not touched yesterday also. and till now it is not there. So understand this one and note down this one also. Process of environmental analysis. Process of environmental analysis. First one, environmental scanning. So scan the environment. That I will tell you again in the when you are talking about technology base, I will tell you again these points. So how to understand the environment first? Under that, scan the environment. So what are the various important factors which have a major influence about the business, major influence on the business? They are to be assessed, they are to be understood, they are to be analyzed. So then only we are going to have a total understanding about the business environment. Then, say for example, in the present day scenario, what is environmental scanning in case of automobile? So petrol prices are constantly growing up, so that electronic vehicles are coming into the market. But is it only the solution? Answer is no. Electronic vehicles are various problems are encountered with that. We are seeing so many situations in the newspaper that electrical vehicles are blasting and so on and so forth. So like that, what is the various alternatives that are available and how these alternatives are going to impact the business, how these alternatives are going to affect the business environment and so on and so forth. Next is monitoring. Always environmental analysis process is to be monitored in close aspect, and then only we can understand how better the environment is going to influence the business. And next, coming to the forecasting. What is the meaning of forecasting? Assessment about the future or estimation about the future. So if you want to estimate, for example, estimation of demand that are normally known to us, how much will be the demand for a particular product during a particular period of time? So what normally we do, how many products that I can sell in the coming days or in the coming months or coming season. So that type of forecasting is done in the case of environmental analysis also. And last phase is that assessment. Assessment means summarization actually. Assess, that is complete understanding about a particular issue. So for example, normally this assessment is done in the case of income tax assessment, what we will call. In the case of assessment of income tax, what we will do? We will understand, we will gather what are the incomes of the person, and we will calculate how much tax is paid already, how much tax is to be paid, what is the charge on that, what is additional tax to be levied. All these things are done, and finally, when finally we will assess, we will come to an assessment that a person has to pay this much amount of tax. That is the final judgment actually. In the case of environmental scanning also, or environment analysis also, we will first go for scanning, then monitoring of the environment, then forecasting of the environment, and finally keeping all these three factors or four into consideration. Then we will try to assess what will be the environment impact on the business firm. This is to be understood on this basis, right? Are you clear on this one? Once again, please confirm. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, audible. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So then, okay, up to this, before class is over, and yesterday's class, let us see now. I'm trying to make it out. So process of environment is over. Technology, that is today's class, what we are going to study. And you need yesterday's class. Nah? Just let me stop this share. Yeah. Now, just 1 second. So in the yesterday's class, what we understood is that in the yesterday's class, what we have discussed is that economic policy, that is actually two types of economic policies are discussed here. So unit number 3, political and environmental, political and legal environment we have studied in the previous session, yesterday's session actually. So in the case of political and legal environment, in the case of that, before that we have studied about economic policy also. Na? Do you want me to repeat the economic policy also broadly? Yeah.
Yesterday, so actually, we took the class, sir. Yesterday. Yeah, where is the class in B? It's technological problem, no, sir. We are not attended properly, completely.
Yes, sir.
Okay, carry on, sir.
No issue, sir. Please be specific. I can understand the situation.
Okay,
So
okay.
you want, so sir, Khalil sir, actually,
No, sir,
which
you
topic?
also.
Oh, okay. Then I will do one thing. I will bring a link between the unit number 2 and unit number 3,
Okay,
so
okay,
that you will
okay, sir.
have understanding.
Okay, sir.
Broadly, I will explain. It's not a matter for me. And
Okay.
today's class, unit number 4, we will take up directly. Right. So actually, we have discussed about the first unit now, that is business environment, objectives, and so on. So in the unit number 2, economic environment, what are the factors already studied right now? How many types of factors are there? Socio-economic factors, technological factors, and so on and so forth. So now let us come to unit number 2, that is economic factors. In that, I have explained you about the economic system. What is an economic system? Any sort of the business activities which are carried out in the society through the help of various financial institutions. Every business person needs financial institutions assistance. So business itself is linked with banking. Banking is linked with the business. If so, in financial, what are the various financial institutions? Banks is one financial institution, and other financial corporations. Listen, understand very carefully. If you are not able to understand, ask me, no problem. So when we are talking about commercial banks, so State Bank of India, Union Bank, Canara Bank, all comes under the commercial banks. Whereas financial corporations, that is ICICI, IDBA, IFCA, and all this will put together financial institutions. Financial institutions, commercial banks, and governmental agencies. What are governmental agencies? Reserve Bank of India, central bureaus, and Economic Affairs Ministry, all that put together, that comes under the economic system. Economic system is a system which is controlled and organized by the central ministry, and directions are given by Reserve Bank of India and central bank to the various commercial banks and financial institutions. Basing on that, they will extend the support to the various business forms. So like that, various economic factors always operate in the economic system. So when we are talking about economic system, it is also comes under the industry, agriculture, infrastructure, and so on. Economic, this is in the page number 17, you can refer to that also. So when once the industry economic system is developed in the country, in the year 1991, actually when there is a huge problem in the economic crisis, there is a huge economic crisis. So in the 1991, industrial policy, that is new economic policy or new industrial policy, was brought up in the government of P.V. Narasimha Rao, then the Prime Minister of India. So in the new economic policy, it is operated from the final budget of 91-92, and what are the various implications of the policy broadly. These implications of the policy, as I told you, it is given the page number 32 of your material. Right. When we are talking about the earlier policy and 1991 industrial policy, right? Earlier, you can refer, sir. You can refer to the material book if you have along with you. That is the reason why I am telling the page numbers also. 32 page number. So in the economic policies, that is pre-reform strategies, they are, and economic reform strategy. So when in the before the 1991 industrial policy, economy is a closed economy. Economy is a closed economy. That means it is not open to the public at all, and public is not allowed to participate much through the shares and other investment proposals. And finally, it is basically on the self-reliance process. If a person start up industry, they must get support from the government alone, or they must be able to support themselves. But it is not supported by the various other world markets or financial markets. Then always it is economy is led by the governments basically, but now economies are led by the society. In such a way, from 1991 industrial policy, what are capital markets? We talked about the capital market. So capital market is a market where the shares are sold freely to the general public, and general public are allowed to purchase the shares by means of investment in the company. So they are allowed to participate in the financial aspects. They are allowed to participate in the financial aspects of the firm also. But at the same time, in the new industrial policy, liberalizations are very high for everything. In the before new economic policy, it requires a license. That is why it is called license Raj system. So before the 1991 industrial policy, every firm wants to get license from various offices. But when once liberalization of the policy came into existence in the 1991 industrial policy, license Raj system is completely avoided and single window operating system. That means if one company is able to get license from one department, it is applicable to all other factors also. Then what are the other aspects? That is tax reforms. In the before 1991 industrial policy, tax reforms are very much rigid, very much complex. It is not easy to understand. But at the same time, during the year 1992 industrial policy or new economic policy, tax reforms are made so much of easy. So, and along with that, in the yesterday's class, I am very sure now, in the yesterday's class, I have explained you about what are the implications of the new industrial policy 1991. What are the new implications of the industrial policy 1990? This question also I have dictated. Now again you can write down. Explain the salient features. Explain the salient features of new industrial policy 1991. New industrial policy of 1991. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Next, when this question appears in your examination, understanding what all we have discussed up to tax reforms that you have to mention. Along with that, I am telling you some additional points that also you have to remember, and or else you can note down and write on that also. When we are talking about the new economic policy, small and medium scale sectors, that is MSME, Medium, Small and Micro Enterprises Act, MSME, Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises, Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises Act was introduced. That's it. Next, small scale industrial sector. So importance is given to small scale industrial sector. Basically, various products which are earlier reserved in the various products which are earlier produced by the larger business industries, they are reserved for the production in the small scale industrial sector. So small scale industries, they are given priority and with a clear direction to various financial institutions to provide necessary finances to the small and medium enterprises. Then third point is to the foreign direct investments, FDI. Foreign direct investments are directly allowed and foreign nationals are directly allowed to participate in Indian capital market, and they can invest directly in our Indian firms. And as a matter of fact, they are also participative in the various financial aspects. So any person from across the globe, they can invest in any of the market. We can invest in American deposits, and American persons also, American people also can invest in that globally. So as a result of that, world economy became a world economy, and funds are transferred from one country to another very freely. So in the new industrial policy, 1991, various restrictions on the foreign direct investments, that is percentages, say for in a particular sector, say for example, textile sector, this much percentage is maximum allowed, this much percentage is not allowed, like that it is eliminated. Okay. So these are the other important points you have to note it down and understand. Then unit number 3, political and legal environment. Political and legal environment. Political and legal environment. Unit number 3, political and legal environment. When we are talking about the political and legal environment to the business, Political means people only. Legal environment is judiciary. Legal environment. So first let us understand about business responsibilities to the government and what are the responsibilities of the government to the business also. So in the case of political and legal environment, we have to understand about what is the responsibilities of the business towards the government. What is the responsibilities of the government towards business? This is divided into two aspects. So we are okay. Yesterday class is not worth, so that we will go by one point and try to note down business responsibility to the government. Business responsibility to the government. This is given to you in the page number 40 of your material. Page number 40 of your material. Try to follow up the material book if you are having right now with you. Sir, I hope you have received the textbooks or material books to you.
Yes, sir. We have all received, sir.
Okay, no issue. Then you can refer to the page number 40 and directly you can see on that also. So
Okay,
first
sir.
one is that tax payment. Every business is having a responsibility to pay an amount, pay the every. Yeah, 1 minute. Every business will have a responsibility to pay an amount of taxes. So it is why? Because every business must be able to provide some sort of funds to the government. By then only they can provide the various infrastructure facilities. For example, they are providing the various facilities to the infrastructure, various facilities like various commercial complex and all. How they are providing? Various water, not only provided roads, buildings, various authorities, all that is coming under the various payment of taxes only. Then voluntary programs. Every business wants to promote voluntary organizations. The business firms cooperate with the government agencies by providing on voluntary basis. So many business houses, say for example, in the COVID pandemic time, so many firms came forward and they extended their support to the government in controlling the COVID-19. So as a result of that, they are providing voluntary associations and voluntary performances also to the business. Next is providing business responsibility, providing information. Every business firm is having an obligation to provide information to the government. That means on various aspects about their profits, because government always is interested in amount of collecting taxes. So the government always try to collect the information on how much profit is made by which firm and how much duties, excise duty, customs duty, what is how many units are manufactured, how much is imports, how much is export quantity. All that is information the government wants to get from the business units. So business units are in turn having the responsibility to provide that information to the government. Then government contracts. That is also very, very important. So most of the business firms, when the government provides a contract, the government has to take up the various construction projects and all. Then the government will will call for the tenders and business people will apply for that and tenders are finalized so that the government is able to implement the contracts on that. So that government contracts are to be implemented through the business process only. And lastly, government service. Always the government as a business offers services to its government also. And what are the various services that is given in the page number 40? And not in unusual manner, business leaders solve the various advisory boards constituted by the government. So various problems that are faced by that. Say for example, how to gear up with the shortage of a particular resource. So now electricity. Now various resources are going to be shortage. Petrol is going to be a scarce resource. In that such a case, various business leaders, they will extend their support to the government by sitting in the, by occupying a position in the directors and officers, and they will provide advices to the government. And like that, government also will get services from the business. And lastly, political activity. That is already known to us. Political participation is much debated in the subject today. There are so many arguments There are so many arguments for and against for the occupation of the industrialists in the government. But overall, without the industry, there is no government. Without the government, there is no industry. They are also interlinked with that. If the simple logic and if the industrialist does not produce, how the goods are available to a common man? When the industrialist does not produce anything else, where is the question of tax payment to the government? If no taxes are there, where is the funds to the government? All this will come. Whether you believe it or not, major amount of taxation is done with the business sector only. So you are all now you are seeing service taxes. How much of
Yes.
service taxes are collected by that? కదండి ఇప్పుడు సర్వీస్ ట్యాక్స్ కడుతున్నాం, మనం సర్వీస్ ట్యాక్స్ కడుతున్నాం అంటే ప్రొడ్యూసర్స్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా, అంతే కదా? ఏమై రైట్ అన్నా? మనం ఈవెన్ ఒక సినిమాకి వెళ్ళినా, ఒక మూవీకి వెళ్తున్నాం, ఒక షాప్ లో ఒక ఐటమ్ కొనుక్కుంటున్నాం, మనకి ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా దానికి ఒక సర్వీస్ ట్యాక్స్ చేసేస్తున్నాడు. ఆ సర్వీస్ ట్యాక్స్ గవర్నమెంట్కి వెళ్తుంది. సో దట్ ద ఇండైరెక్ట్లీ government is able to get the taxes in the form of service tax through business people only. That means they are participating in the political formation. These are the major important points. That is business responsibility to the government, right? So then government responsibility to the business. This point is given in 41 page number, right? Government also have the various responsibilities to the business sector. They must be able to give sufficient financial support. Government must be able to give sufficient financial support, sufficient infrastructure support. All that must be given by the government to the industrialist. Then only it is possible to have the good cooperative environment between these two. First one, what is the government responsibility to the business? This is given page number 41. Establishment and enforcement of the law. Establishment and enforcement of the law. Law is judiciary. That cannot be created by any industrialist. Government alone has to create the law. Government alone has to make enactments. Government alone has to give so many courts and all. And for any dispute, business people will go to court of law. So in such a way, the judiciary and legal help or legal assistance must be provided by the government to the business. Second one, maintenance of law and order. Actually, maintenance of law and order. Actually, what is law and order? Law and order is protecting the persons, protecting the property. All that comes under the primary responsibility of the government. That is why we say that protection of law and order, that is the main responsibility of every government. So, protection of the people, protection of the properties of the people, and protection of the business assets, the protection of the business houses. All this is required in that. So all this facility is provided by the government itself. Then third one, money and credit. Money and credit. The government provides a system of control and credit by means of various transactions influenced by it. Every industrialist, whether you believe it or not, even though he is having crores of rupees bank balance, for any new project he wants to start, first he will approach the banker only. He will try to get a loan from the bank, and he will start the business. He will make profits, and out of the profits he will repay the loan, and finally he will earn profits on that. So this type of financial provisions must be provided by the government alone in the form of through how the government will provide finances to the business houses through the commercial banks only. They will fix the targets on the commercial banks to give this much of loans to the agriculture sector. This much of loans must be given to the industrial sector. This much of loans must be given to the other sectors. Like that, they will fix up the priorities. On the basis of the priorities fixed by the government and other financial institutions like RBI, etc., banks will release funds to the industrialist. So like that, money and credit also will be provided by the government institutions only. So, okay. Then orderly growth must be protected in every business activity. Orderly growth. That is, government will look about which industry is going very faster, which industry is going very slow. Suppose if agriculture sector is getting down, so government will take initiations to develop the agriculture sector. So for example, textile industry, Reliance, petroleum industries, automobile industries. If one sector is backing, definitely government will come forward and take initiative towards the development of that particular industry. And they will take precautionary measures even in the budget also. That is why in budget, so many sanctions are there to the defense, to the agriculture, towards education, towards infrastructure, towards industrialization, and all that. Infrastructure means, yeah. Yes. This is the various aspects that we have to understand. Infrastructure, already we have given so much of information on that. Then coming to the information, government also will provide information to the business by means of journals. What is the amount of labor, that is health, and various education, banking, atomic energy, and various other departments also will provide the necessary information to the government, and government in turn will provide these information to the industrialists. And lastly, assistance to small scale industries. That's what I have told you just now. So much of assistance is given to the small scale industrialists in a shorter period of time. And transfer of technology, technological transfers. Government owned research establishments are there. So they will discover some sort of new projects, and whatever the new projects that are developed, they will pass it on to the industrialists, and industrialists will produce and sell the goods to the general public, or they will promote. In this particular manner, the government will provide technology, government will develop the technology, and that technology is transferred to the business, and then finally the business people will produce and sell. Finally, the technology reaches to the society, that is common man. Then government itself is a competitor. Government often competes with the private business firms for the purpose of not making profits, for the purpose of regulation, for the purpose of improving quality, for the purpose of supplementing the private activities, and so on and so forth. In some of the cases, just I can say you one example in this. Government establish even commercial products manufacturing also. Why they are producing? Because if the government is producing, the cost of production will be lower. As a result of that, they will maintain the quality. And when the government is offering a product at a low price, definitely all industrialists are supposed to fix up a lower prices only. Otherwise, they can't find the demand for their product. So like the government itself will provide competition, and basing on the competition provided by basing on that competition, the price fixation and various activities are taken care of by them. Inspections and licenses. Government always conduct various inspections. They will grant licenses and so on. So tariffs and quotas. This is the last important element of that. Okay. Are you clear up to here yesterday?
Yes,
this
sir.
is what we have studied up to the yesterday's class. Right from the beginning, I have explained you. Now let us proceed towards unit number 4, that is technological environment. Right down. Unit number 4, technological environment. Just 1 second. Explain the impact of technology. Explain the impact of technology
Yes, sir.
Explain the impact of technology on the society. In the unit number 4, broadly, there are 3 aspects here. Technology on the society, impact of technology on the economy, and plant level implications. Write down impact of technology on the society
And the plant.
Second, telling. First one, impact of technology on society. Second one, impact of technology on the economy. Third one, plant level implications. Plant level implications. This is unit number 4. 3 important aspects that we have to cover. This is given in page number 59. This is given in the page number 58, last 2 lines, and page number 59. Just 1 minute, you refer to the points what we have noted now.
Yes, sir.
is first point, impact of technology on the society. In that, let us go with the. Yeah, are you able to see the screen now?
Yes, sir. No, no, screen not. You only, sir.
Screen now. Okay, okay. Just one thing. Not open. So I have to open it and then. Yes. Then now impact of technology on the society, on the economy, and plant level implications on plant level or plant level implications. Right. When what is the first one is the technology and society. Technology and society. Very, very important point is that any technology that is developed reaches to the people through the business only. So if a new product is invented, how a common man can know that yes, this is the type of technology is there. We actually, whether you believe it or not, I read about the electronic vehicles very long back during the 94, 95 itself. I read a story on it is the tenure of the electronic vehicles. Now we are able to see that electronic cars, electric cars, and all. So to reach to the business, to reach to the general public, it is possible only through the technology. So technology institutions, as I told you in the very beginning class also, who will start who will invent? Any engineer. An engineer will develop. That is why I normally say to the engineering people also. Engineers will engineer. That means engineers will design. They will develop. They will create. But who has to produce? No engineer is going to produce and sell. Just he will develop the technology and he will keep quiet. So, as a matter of fact, engineering design will be given and that is produced and sold by the industrialist. Finally, it is the common man who has to accept whether the particular technology is useful or not. So when it reaches to the general people, then only they will think whether it is good or not. So first technology reaches to the people through the business. Then second point is that high expectations of the customers. Technology always has contributed to the emergence of affluent society. New variety of products, superior quality, free from pollution, more safe, more comfortable products are produced and supplied by the various sectors. So always consumers expect very high level. When the consumers expect higher and higher levels, the technologically oriented industries must be able to gear up to their needs. Otherwise, they cannot survive. If today a two-wheeler is run by an electricity, automatically people expected about the cars. Okay, today we are expecting about electrical vehicles, but why can't we expect a production of the vehicle on the basis of solar energy? That is also there. That's already produced. But yeah, that is already produced, but it is not reaching to the general public. It is not reached till now. It is not reached to the general public. Already solar vehicles are there, but it is still not reached to the general. That is why customers are expecting high. Then system complexity. So technology always provides system complexity. So modern machines work better and faster, no doubt. But if they fail, they need services of experts, repairs. When they fail, often because of their complexity. This is also taken care of by the technology orientation. See, if electrical bus in the recent newspaper we have seen an electrical bus caught fire and everything it became ashes. So when such type of problems are arising, who will take care of? Technology only has to protect. So why this type of failures are coming? Why this type of problems are coming? That is called a system complexity. Suppose if I produce a product, it must be simple, it must be easily repairable, and it must be easily understandable, and so on and so forth. So if the electrical device or electronic device is so complex, often it often it undergoes a problem. So technology adaptation must be so simple, so understandable, and easy to operate and easy to repair. This is the third important. Next one, social change. When we are going to the role of technology towards social changes. So nowadays, technology is totally changing the society. We are seeing rapid changes in the technological aspects. Why to go all the way? Actually, whether you believe it or not, my mother used to cook food on kerosene stove with the help of a matchbox. She used to ignite the kerosene stove, kerosene pumping, then finally kerosene will come out with the pressure, and then use matchbox and make a fire out of that. But now, how many people are know about that particular even kerosene stove? Answer is no. We all used to accommodate the gas stoves with electric
Yes, sir.
lighter. That lighter is itself a change in the society. Change in the society. Nowadays, no matchbox. Every in every kitchen, we are using this electric stove. That is, నాకు దాని
Right,
పేరు
sir, right.
తెలియదు. లైటర్ ఓకే, అది కాదండి, ఇంకొకటి కూడా ఏదో స్టవ్స్ వస్తున్నాయి ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ మీద పనిచేస్తాయి కదా, అది దాన్ని ఏదో అంటారు, బ్లాక్ కలర్ లో
Induction.
ఉంటాయి కదా.
Induction,
ఇండక్షన్,
sir.
యా ఇండక్షన్ స్టవ్, వెరీ గుడ్, ఇండక్షన్ స్టవ్. All this sometimes we may expect that kitchen is almost replaced by electronic goods only. We may be able to, in future we may be able to light up a stove with the help of a remote, and the same remote may be used for the TV as well as the gas stove also. We don't know.
Yes.
And yes,
That may happen. మీరు అంటున్నారు కదా, ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఫారిన్ కంట్రీస్ లో ఫ్యాన్స్, రిమోట్స్, ఏసీస్, కూలర్స్ అన్ని కూడా రిమోట్ మీద పనిచేస్తుంది. మనం జస్ట్ ఒక మెసేజ్ పంపిస్తే మన ఇంట్లో ఉన్న ఏసీ ఆన్ అవుతుంది కదా. మరి అలాంటప్పుడు హాల్లో కూర్చొని మనం టీవీ చూస్తుంటే కిచెన్ లో గ్యాస్ స్టవ్ ఆన్ అవ్వకపోతుందని ఎందుకు అనుకోవాలి? మీరు అంటున్నారు, మనం అపార్ట్మెంట్ లో 5th ఫ్లోర్ లో కూర్చుని ఒక బటన్ నొక్కితే కింద కారు స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది కదా, వచ్చినా సరే అటువంటి కారు మనం వెళ్ళి కీ పెట్టి ఆన్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. డైరెక్ట్ గా ఒక మెసేజ్ ద్వారా కానీ, ఒక క్లిక్ ఆఫ్ బటన్ ద్వారా మనం కార్స్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో ఇవన్నీ కూడా టెక్నాలజీ ఈస్ బ్రింగింగ్ ఎ లాట్ ఆఫ్ చేంజ్ ఇన్ ద సొసైటీ. Technology is bringing a lot of change in the society. Then technological phases and systems, what they create basically. Technology, one way, it is creating a lot of benefits to the society, but they are bringing a lot of social systems changes also. System changes also, they are bringing out. When these system changes are bringing out, we have to adapt that particular. In till recently, before coming out the electrical vehicles and all, we are using, every single person using a motor car. Every single person is going by a two-wheeler. That how much pollution is coming, how much of shortage will be there for the petrol and other resources. But why can't we use a public transport system like metro rail and all? This is how the technology is changing. Okay, all of us use electrical vehicles only, but how much of rush will be there on the society? Again, we will ask for the widening of the roads. That is again infrastructure problem. So if I increase one side, that is technology side, it will have definitely impact on the social system. It will have a definite impact on the social system. These are the most important points that you have to understand in case of the technology and society, right? Are you clear on this one?
yes,
Are you
sir.
clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So I will stop the share now, because the other points I have not typed it. Then coming to the technology and economy, write down technology and economy. Sir, you can do one thing. When I am sharing a screen, that you can take a screenshot and you can keep it for your reference. But when no screenshot is there, you please write the points in your notes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Technology and economy. Technology and economy. First one, increased productivity. Increased productivity. Second one, need to spend, need, NED, need to spend on research and development, need to spend on research and
R&D
development,
department.
yeah, R&D. Then jobs tend to become more intellectual. Jobs tend to become more intellectual. Then problem of technostructures. Problem of technostructures. Next, fifth point, need for multi-professional managers. Next, increased regulations. Increased regulations. Next, insatiable. 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 Insatiable demand for the capital. Demand for the capital. Next, last one. Rise and decline of products and organizations. Rise and decline of products and organizations. Last point, business boundaries redefined. Yes. Let us go with that, and then we will go for the next last one, that is planned implementations in this. So technology and economy, these three are questions are there. One, I hope it may come in the examination point, the impact of technology on the society, impact of technology on the economy, and plant level implications. Or if broadly the question is given, explain the impact of technology on the environment. Then sum up of all these points and you can quote a little bit definition and discussion on this. Right? First one, technology and economy. In the case of technology and economy, increased productivity. What it basically tells us about, in case of increased productivity, that means technology is gradually increasing. Earlier we used it to produce with the help of the human labor, human beings. Then anyhow, human being will have so many problems. That is fatigue will be there. He need to have rest allowance. He need to have rest again. He need to have lunch break and tea break and all. But a machine does not require all this.
Yeah.
Just like we have seen in the case of the Robo movie, also that will not have any common sense. That so if you start means it will work, stop means it will stop. That's all. But a human being will not be like that. He will look at the time. Sir, it is already 4:45. Sir, I will start up the work tomorrow. That's he will postpone the aspect of it. So in such a way, technology is increasing the productivity. Continuous production or 3-shift production or 2-shift production. For a day of 24 hours, some of the companies are working around the clock. So automatically productivity is increasing in a higher rate. Is increasing at a higher rate.
Example,
So,
BSEL.
Yeah, BSEL. Very good. So when they are producing production, shift system, labor will be given rest, but machines will never be given rest. So that because of increased productivity, so much of quantity of output is coming, and that output is given to the society. Second one, need to spend on R&D. Now, because of technological implementation, technological innovations, every firm is going for the allocation of resources towards the research and development. Every company, earlier, whether you believe it or not, Reddy Laboratories and pharmaceuticals, the famous pharmaceutical company, it established so much of research and development activity towards the formulation of medicines and all. Very recently, we have one of the biological E Limited that has developed a vaccine.
Vaccine of
So,
COVID.
yeah, COVID. So, like that, every firm is giving top priority towards the allocation of the resources towards the research and developmental activity. Every company is establishing its own research and developmental setup. Secondly, technology transfer process also taking a lot of importance. A firm, if it find out a new formulation, that technology is given to the another firm at a price or for a collaboration or for the subcontracting or leasing or anyway. They're sharing the technology between the firms. Third one, the time factor is more important than what is the time frame between the innovation and commercialization. Innovation, innovation and commercialization. What is the meaning of innovation? To invent a product. How much time it may take? Let's say, for example, in the case of COVID pandemic time, a pharmaceutical company started with the vaccine, but it is innovation. But how much time it has taken to come to the real needy people? That is the one
And
important
efforts also, sir. And
Yeah.
efforts also. Globally, they had tried to develop this.
Yes. So even actually, over a period of time, we are able to learn all this. But innovation is not only important, but commercial. What is the meaning of commercialization? Bringing the products into the hands of the customers. నేను ఇప్పుడు చెప్తున్నాను సోలార్ కార్స్ అంటున్నాను, సోలార్ 2-wheelers అంటున్నాను. మనకి ఇన్నోవేట్ అయినాయి, మన దగ్గర ఉన్నాయా, మనం కొనగలుగుతున్నామా? Even nowadays we are not dare enough to go for electrical vehicle. When the battery will collapse or when the battery will blast, we don't know.
Yeah, correct. Happening in the city. Yes.
అదే ప్రాబ్లం అండి. ఇప్పుడు టెక్నాలజీని తీసుకొస్తున్నారు, కానీ దానివల్ల ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఉండట్లేదు. మీరు అంటున్నారు యాక్చువల్ గా బ్యాంకింగ్ సెక్టర్ లో కూడా సో మెనీ ఇన్నోవేషన్స్ వచ్చినాయి. ఇప్పుడు మనం పేటిఎం అంటున్నాం, గూగుల్ పే అంటున్నాం, అసలు మనం ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు వాడేసుకుంటున్నాం మన మొబైల్లోంచి. ఒక చిన్న పాయింట్ మాత్రం అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి, ఒక్కసారి మొబైల్లో సేవ్ అయిన డేటా పర్మనెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది, దాన్ని డిలీట్ చేయడం కూడా కుదరదు. సపోజ్ మనకి ఎట్ ఎనీ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం ఇఫ్ ఎ పర్సన్ లాస్ట్ హిజ్ మొబైల్, definitely all the passwords, everything will be known to the person who gained that mobile. మనం అందుకనే జాగ్రత్తగా పాస్వర్డ్స్ అవి నోట్ చేసుకునేటప్పుడు మొబైల్లో కాకుండా బయట పెట్టుకోవాలి. ఎప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుందో మనకు తెలియదు కదా. దిస్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. ఆల్రెడీ ఇన్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద మూవీ ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ క్లియర్లీ టోల్డ్ దట్ ఇఫ్ దే కెన్ బ్లాక్ ద మెసేజెస్ ఆల్సో, ద పర్సన్ విల్ నాట్ గెట్ ఎ మెసేజ్ అండ్ ద ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ విల్ గో ఆన్. దట్స్ ఇట్. So technology is having a positive impact and technology is having a negative impact also. But how safely we are able to provide the technology to the consumers is more important. Then fourthly, new technologies come, old technology need to be abandoned. It is called technological discontinuation. Technological discontinuation. This occurs when new technology comes in. But is it so easy? When a new technology is adopted, what happened to the earlier technology or based machines? So very recently I read in the newspaper APSRTC wants to bring back the double decker buses.
Yes sir.
Is it possible? They failed. అదంతా రిపేర్ చేసే వాళ్ళు ఎవరున్నారు ఇప్పుడు? ఎందుకంటే ఆ ఎంప్లాయీస్ లేరు, ఆ టెక్నాలజీ మనకు తెలియదు. అది ప్రాబ్లం. అండ్ ఇప్పుడు డబుల్ డెక్కర్ బస్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి రోడ్డు మీదకి, ఇంకా రోడ్డు మీద మనం ట్రావెల్ చేయక్కర్లేదు, అది కదలదు, మనం వెళ్ళలేము. అది So the technology is to be, when we are replacing the technology, we must be able to see how the present technology is to be discontinued. When you are discontinuing the present technology, old technology, what is happening to the machinery? What is happening to the people who are working on that? Immediately a person cannot learn. Suppose immediately a person cannot learn. Why to show that, sir? Actually in the government sector, when my father is in service, they used to use the typewriters. They know only typing. They don't know what is a computer. Then how many typists are there? When computers are introduced into the government offices, they felt very unhappy. And some of them took voluntary retirements. Sorry, మనం చేయలేమండి, ఆ కంప్యూటర్ వేడు రావు మనకి, టైపింగ్ అయితే మన చేతిలో ఉంటుందన్నారు. Now how many of us know about how to type on the type machine? We don't know. We are so much accustomed to the system now. So when typing is replaced with the desktop
Computer.
computer, చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వచ్చినాయండి. మీకు
Yes.
ఎలాంటివి చెప్పాలి, రైల్వేలో కూడా టికెటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ పెట్టారు, రైల్వే కంప్యూటరైజ్ టికెటింగ్ సిస్టమ్. అక్కడ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఎవరికి అసలు రానే రాదు. సో దే డోంట్ నో హౌ టు ఇష్యూ ఏ టికెట్ ఆన్ ద కంప్యూటర్. ఫర్ ఎ లాంగ్ టైమ్ ద కంప్యూటర్స్ ఆర్ సెట్ అసైడ్ అండ్ ఓల్డ్ టెక్నాలజీ దట్ ఈస్ ఒక టికెట్ మిషన్ లో పెడితే అది ప్రింట్ అవుతుంది, మనకి
Yes.
బయటకు వస్తుంది, అదే వాడారు. స్లోగా అది చేంజ్ అయింది అనుకోండి. సో న్యూ టెక్నాలజీ వెన్ వీఆర్ ఇంట్రడ్యూసింగ్, we must be able to protect the technology which we are using till now, and it must be slowly discontinued. That is the more important point. So these are the various finally days to come, and all the organization develop the area of biotechnology is a new development here. And fourth point is that job tend to become more intellectual. In earlier days, a unskilled worker is also able to perform a job. ఈవెన్ చదువు రాని వాళ్ళతో కూడా మనం పని చేయించుకున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు కుదురుతుందా? ఇప్పుడు కుదరదు. అన్లెస్ కంప్యూటర్ రాకపోతే వాడు ఎందుకు పనికిరాడు. దే మస్ట్ బి ఏబుల్ టు టైప్
in this period, sir. Very rare in this period.
వెరీ రేర్.
Yeah.
అండ్ మోర్ ఓవర్ అసలు సిస్టమ్ నాలెడ్జ్ లేకపోతే అసలు మనం వర్కర్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయలేము.
Yes.
సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. సో జాబ్స్ ఆర్ బికమింగ్ మోర్ ఇంటలెక్చువల్. జాబ్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ బికమింగ్ ఫిజికల్. Jobs are becoming mental lab. Even lowest level cadre people also, they are using system laptops only. Then lastly, problem of technostructure. Every firm is basically technology based structures only, and technology based even technology based structures, that is attendance is taken by technology, that is biometric missions, and salaries, all that is based on the technology orientation only. In every minute to minute, అక్కడ దాకా ఎందుకు, మనం క్యాంటీన్కి వెళ్తే కాఫీ కూడా కాయిన్ వేస్తే వస్తుంది, అక్కడ మనిషి ఉంటుంది. కానీ పంచదార లేదు అంటే కుదరదు, పంచదార వేయలేదంటే కుదరదు. అది. సో దట్ ఈస్ వన్ పాయింట్. లాస్ట్లీ, మల్టీ ప్రొఫెషనల్ మేనేజర్స్ ఆర్ రిక్వైర్డ్. ఎర్లియర్ డేస్ ఏ ఫైనాన్స్ మేనేజర్ యూజ్డ్ టు టేక్ అప్ ఫైనాన్స్, ప్రొడక్షన్ మేనేజర్ ప్రొడక్షన్ ఓన్లీ లైక్ దట్. బట్ నౌ ఏ మేనేజర్ మస్ట్ బి ఏబుల్ టు హ్యాండిల్ మెనీ మోర్ టాస్క్, దట్ ఈస్ మల్టీ ప్రొఫెషనల్. సింగిల్ ప్రొఫెషనలిజం ఈజ్ నాట్ ఫుల్ఫిల్డ్, సింగిల్ ప్రొఫెషనలిజం is not sufficient also. And incredible regulations are there. So much of regulations are brought in because of technology adaptation. Earlier, if a person is working properly, if he is a good employee to the organization, even though he will comes late for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, the boss used to allow them, okay, ఆయన వచ్చిన తర్వాత చేస్తున్నాడు కదండి, he is a good worker, ఒక 5 నిమిషాలు లేట్ అయితే ఏంటి అని బాస్ కన్సిడరేషన్ ఇచ్చేవాడు. మరి ఇప్పుడు మనం ఫేస్ రీడింగ్ మెషిన్స్, బయోమెట్రిక్ మిషన్స్, మనం ఎంత గుడ్ వర్కర్ అయినా లేట్ గా వెళ్తే కట్ అవుతుంది అంతే. బాస్ అంతే. వెరీ ఫ్యాక్ట్. మీకు అక్కడ దాకా చాలా కాలేజెస్ లో ఫ్యాకల్టీ అంటున్నారు, అండి మేము అవసరం వస్తే సాయంత్రం 6-7 గంటల దాకా పని చేస్తున్నాము, మేము రెస్ట్ అవర్స్ వదులుకుని పని చేస్తున్నాము, మీరు బయోమెట్రిక్ ప్రకారం సాలరీస్ డిటెక్ట్ చేసేస్తే మరి మేము ఎందుకు గుడ్ వర్క్ చేయాలి అంటే, మనిషి వచ్చి బయోమెట్రిక్ పెడితే చాలా అడుగుతున్నారు. అది మనిషి వచ్చి బయోమెట్రిక్ పెడితే చాలా అడుగుతున్నాడు అంతే. అది ఇట్లా ఉన్నాయండి, సిచ్యువేషన్స్ చాలా ఉన్నాయి ఇట్లా. అంబేద్కర్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ వాళ్ళు సైన్ అవుట్ అయిపోయారు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ఇంక్రీజ్ కాంపిటీషన్. సో దెన్ ఇన్సెటిబుల్ డిమాండ్ ఫర్ ద క్యాపిటల్. సో ఎవ్రీ ఫర్మ్ దట్ వాంట్స్ టు బి capitalistic oriented, more and more amount of capital is introduced into the market. So and more amount of capital needs are increasing in the demand considerations. Then rise in and decline in the production organization. So many products are coming into the market, so many products are going out of the market. Which product will come into the market and which product will go out of the market, we don't know. And at the same time, so many organizations are coming, so many organizations are going. So there is no question of stability towards this one. And lastly, there are boundaries are redefined, business boundaries. Earlier, a firm used to operate its business only in the local area, but every firm now it wants to operate globally. Even small firms also want to operate in a global level. So that is why business boundaries are totally demolished and it became a global level. And in the page number 63, plant level implications are made out. And it is 5 points. Let us discuss and close the session now. Plant level implications. Plant level implications. 1.
Okay, sir.
Technology and organization structure. technology and organization structure. Second one, fear of risk. Fear of risk. Then resistance to change. Resistance to change. Next, total quality management. Total quality management. Business process re-engineering. Business process re-engineering. Business process re-engineering. And last one, flexible manufacturing system. Flexible manufacturing system. Okay, this is the end of the unit number 4. But this lesson is very, very important. Take care of that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So technology-oriented organization structures or technology and organization structure. Nowadays, every organization is designed according to the technology adaptation. How much technology we are using, how much is technology component in the organization setup. All this is done with the organization structure design చేసేటప్పుడే మనం ఏ రకమైన టెక్నాలజీ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్ గా తీసుకుంటాం. Then fear of risk. Every business is becoming very risky now.
Yeah,
Because
without
most
this cannot.
Yeah. Moreover, at what time, which type of business will collapse, which type of business will grow up, also we are not able to understand.
Yes.
So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that is very important. మనం అనుకుంటున్నాం
Yeah.
సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అని మీకు చాలా క్లియర్.
We cannot assure.
Yes,
Today,
2004 లో ఒకసారి సాఫ్ట్వేర్ పడిపోయింది.
every day they are changing. Lot of changes coming into the market.
Yes.
Somebody are using Lotus. Now we are using Excel 2021.
Yes.
Lot of difference.
అండ్ ఒక కొత్త సాఫ్ట్వేర్ వస్తుందండి, ఈ పాత సాఫ్ట్వేర్ నేర్చుకున్న వాళ్ళందరూ పోయినట్టు. ఇది ప్రాబ్లం. మళ్ళీ వీళ్ళు మొత్తం నేర్చుకోవాల్సిందే. అందుకనే సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ కాన్స్టెంట్ గా వాళ్ళు నేర్చుకుంటూ ఉంటారు అంతే. వాళ్ళకి
Otherwise they will be replaced.
Yeah, otherwise they will be replaced, definitely.
Yes.
బట్ మరి మాకు ఆ ప్రాబ్లం లేదు, మేము అదే పాఠం ఎప్పుడు చెప్పచ్చు.
Yes, sir. They have a business, sir. They have a business.
మాకు ఈ బుక్ మారదు, నేను మారను. Resistance to change, that is already known to us. Every firm faces resistance to change. So no manager gives a business unit without a resistance to change. If we want to implement a new technology in the adaptation, definitely there will be a resistance from the employees. Even it may be good also, it will be resisted. Why to so? ఇప్పుడు మనకు అనుకున్నాం కదా మన ఈ రైల్వే టికెటింగ్. So they went on strike also. No, we always follow the old technology. So after that, later on, they are trained and they are able to adjust with that. Total quality management. Every firm wants to produce the goods at 6 Sigma level. What is 6 Sigma? 99.94. That means if you produce 1000 units, it must be only 4 units must be defective. Total quality management, that is becoming more and more important. High quality, low risk, low failure, that must be the phenomena of every business unit. And business process re-engineering. So what all the business process we are doing, it must be created in a new atmosphere, otherwise technologies don't work. ఇప్పుడు మనం అంటున్నాం కదా, in cars we are using microchips, fuel injection system, everything is controlled by the microchip. So that like that we have to re-engineer the production system also. And lastly, flexible manufacturing system. The designed products, designed batches, all these things are to be changed according to the needs and fancies of the business environment. So these are the 3 important factors that you have to understand and make a notes on that. We will meet again in the next class, and definitely I also will try to make out PPTs for you for this one.
Thanks, sir. It will be more helpful if you make PPTs. Because
కరెక్టే కానీ చాలా కరెక్ట్ అమ్మా ఈవేళ. యా, దిస్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో టెక్నాలజీ చేంజ్ అండి. దిస్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో టెక్నాలజీ.
Sir, give us for final examinations questions, sir. Final paper.
Yeah, in final exam question paper I cannot give you, but important
No,
questions I can give.
important
Yeah,
in
that's
for
what he's asking.
every
Yes,
block, sir.
definitely.
And
Yes, definitely.
which unit may ask which
Yeah.
question.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, sir.
Definitely.
Sir, because we
Expected
are
question.
all working.
Amma, correct, Amma. I can understand, Ruhi. Where you are
Okay.
working, shall I know? If you are no objection, you tell me where you are working. Otherwise, okay. It's all right. Okay.
Sorry, sir. What did you ask?
Where you are working, if you are interested to tell, otherwise don't know.
No,
Okay.
at present I'm not working. I have a
Right.
small kid, 1.5 year
Oh,
old.
no issue.
So
Right, no issue. No issue. Okay, no problem. I will give you. Unit wise, I will tell you. Don't problem.
okay,
And
sir. Okay.
PPTs also I am trying. You are seeing now, we are in the
Yes,
end
yes.
of the semester.
Yes,
So that
sir.
entire week it is going on in such a way. So
Hectic,
that by
yes,
next
sir.
time, definitely I will try. Right?
Okay, okay.
Thank you.